Tirthalion, your YouTube psychic. Card of the day. Readings. Unboxings. Your daily source for things arcane.
Hey everyone, Tyr here, and we are continuing our series on grief, tackling grief and helping to deal and or cope with it. Now again, I am not a licensed psychotherapist or psychiatrist, so if you are having issues with anxiety, depression, and or grief, do reach out to someone you love and or your mental health provider because they will be able to assist you in dealing with these emotions. In our last video, we discussed stages 1, 2, and 3, how I coped with them and or my stories with grief and or loss of the various individuals that I have lost at this point. Today we're going to go through some more stages, starting with stage 4. Now, stage 4 is depression. Yes, girl, I know all about this when it comes to grief and or just depression in general. Because if you remember correctly, in a previous video I discussed the fact that I was diagnosed with dysthymia, which has a new name, which I am not exactly sure what it is. Oh, persistent depressive disorder. Now, depression, this may be a period of isolation and loneliness, during which you process and reflect on the loss of your loved one or job. Whereas anger and bargaining, you can feel very active. Depression may feel more like a quiet stage of grief. In the early stages of loss, you may be running from the emotions, trying to stay ahead of them. By this point, however, you may be able to embrace and work through them in a more healthier manner. You may also choose to isolate yourself from others in order to fully cope with the loss. That doesn't mean, however, that depression is easy or well defined. Like the other stages of grief, depression can be difficult and messy. It can feel overwhelming. You may feel foggy, heavy, and confused. Depression may feel like the inevitable landing point of any loss. However, if you feel stuck here or can't seem to move on past this stage of grief, talk with a mental health expert. A therapist can help you work through this period of coping. As a person diagnosed with a mental illness, persistent depressive disorder, this stage is easy for me to fall back on. If you're in a constant state of depression, you will be able to see the red flag, so to speak, and know that this stage is coming. This is not belittling the depression that I feel towards my losses, because each bout with depression is a battle in a long-time war for myself. Stage 5 is the upward turn. Now, I didn't think much of this one up until, the most recent loss, my sister. Because after I've gotten, I don't want to say gotten over, but dealt with the initial shock, denial, depression. After dealing with all of those emotions, I do find myself doing more things and, getting more things done, basically. Now, at this point, the stages of grief like anger and pain have died down and you are left in a more calm and relaxed state. You may feel yourself getting over or moving on with your life, returning to things that used to entertain you, or going back to work. This stage is where I usually find myself getting out of bed and doing my normal daily routines. Like many people, when I'm confronted with a loss, I find myself staying in bed and find it difficult to get motivated and do anything. The smallest menial mundane tasks all the way up to, doing the yard work. So in some cases, you may even find yourself going through several stages of grief in a day. And that is the God's honest truth. With Mom, I went through any and everything all at once, and several times a day, several days a week, for many months. It's gotten to the point now where I'm okay and don't, go through 30,000 different emotions in one day. Now, stage 6 is reconstruction and working through. You can begin to put the pieces of your life back together and carry forward. By this time, we've faced the loss and dealt with our guilt and conquered the depression. We're starting to find that getting motivated is not something we have difficulty doing anymore. It's less of a struggle to get things done, basically. And with stage 6, it's not uncommon for you to, move on and get up and do everything and get everything done, and, things are going wonderful. All in 1 second, turn around and you are right back to sitting beside your loved one while they're dying. And it's just incredible as far as how insane depression and or grief can make you feel. But it is all normal because everyone goes through this. You may find that you yourself have not experienced this yet, and consider yourself lucky because it is not fun. Now, stage 7 is acceptance and hope. This is a very gradual acceptance of the new way that life is going to be from now on, and a feeling of possibility in the future. Acceptance is not necessarily a happy or uplifting stage of grief. It doesn't mean you've moved past the grief or loss. It does, however, mean that you've accepted it and have come to understand what it means in your life now. You may feel very different in this stage. You've had a major change in your life, and that upends the way you feel about many things. Look to acceptance as a way to see that there may be more good days than bad at this point, but there may still be bad, and that's okay. In my case, I know that my parents are dead and are not coming back. I understand that fact, and I have come to terms with the fact that I can no longer call them for advice or to just talk to them about whatever. This stage can be difficult and can cause guilt as well. So, again, you may go back to stage 2. Don't be frustrated with yourself or think that something is wrong with you, because there is not. You've experienced something traumatic, and you will find yourself hopping around from stage to stage, just the same way that a rabbit hops around your lawn. So, what is the takeaway here? The key to understanding grief is realizing that no one experiences the same thing every time. Grief is very personal, and you may feel want something different every time, every day, every minute, every hour. You may need several weeks, or grief may take years to endure. If you decide that you need help coping with the feelings and the changes that you are experiencing in your life right now due to this loss, then a mental health professional is a good resource for vetting your feelings and finding a sense of assurance in these very heavy and weighty emotions. Not everyone will experience all 7 stages, and you may not go through them in order. From my experience, you're all over the frickin' map and make frequent visits to several stops. It's your grief, and you're going to experience it in your way. So, thank you very much for watching today's video. I'm glad that I was able to get through all 7 of these stages without much consequence, I guess. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to my content currently. With everything going on in my life, I'm only doing videos on Mondays. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. If you or someone you love have thoughts of suicide or harming yourself, call 911 or go to an emergency room. You can also call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to my content and like this video. Want more? Feel free to order your own personal reading at www.tirthalion.com. That's TIRTHALION.com. Don't forget to click the bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a video.